From the time of their arrival in the 1850s and 1860s, the Chinese were subjected to discrimination, exclusion, and even massacres. A few did very well, made money, and returned to China to become landlords. Others, less fortunate, remained in the United States and began families. Immigration laws passed after 1882 required that men come alone, and so many of them returned to China to have sons, whom they then brought back to the United States. White men could have any woman they desired of any nationality, but as misogynophobes, that is, except when it came to their own predilections, they passed laws in 1872 and 1906 preventing marriage between Chinese or black men and white women. Chinese men found work as cooks, waiters, store clerks, or butchers in Chinatown, or as agricultural workers, laundrymen, or domestic servants outside. Frank Chen is one of a distinguished group of Chinese-American writers who lived at one time in Oakland's Chinatown. When the Chinese arrived, California was mostly inhabited by Mexicans, but by the late 1880s, Chinese were as numerous as whites. According to Chen, today's assimilated suburban Chinese-Americans are ashamed of their railroad worker and proletariat beginnings and want to project the image of being middle class and white because, he says, they are Christian. They want to leave Chinatown. They are proud not to know anything about Chinese history. We look at the Chinese stories as an infection, a disease. Chen believes that the railroad building phase of Chinese American history should be regarded as one of heroism rather than as a source of shame. Chen is particularly offended by the absence of any Chinese face in the famous photo celebrating the joining of the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific Railroads at Promontory in Utah on May 10, 1869. We were proud that we could handle dynamite, that we could lay track better than whites. At first, the Chinese came to America to seek their fortunes in the gold mines, but they encountered so much resistance from anti-immigrant sentiment among whites, who always had the numbers and the firepower to enforce their version of affirmative action, eliminating job competition from Mexican Americans, African Americans, and Native Americans through force, that they left the mines for the cities and farms. In 1882, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act as a boon to white workers. The law was not repealed until 1943. In 1913, the Alien Land Law made owning land impossible for a Chinese person. By constructing the Temescal and Lake Chabot dams in 1874 to 1875, Chinese labor contributed to the building of Oakland. June 15, 2002. On June 15th, Everett and Jones Barbecue, Grassroots Entertainment, and Brothers Brewing Company present the annual Barbecue, Beer, and Blues Festival. Even the aching knees of the next morning, after standing for about 3 hours, are worth it. No one should miss this spectacle. For $10, I get to see Dwayne Wiggins, formerly of Oakland's Tony, and the first producer of Destiny's Child, fabled blues legend Little Milton, and the great Bobby Womack, whose stock may be down among the critics, but who has a huge grassroots following. The crowd is mostly middle-aged with a bent toward expanded waistlines, and the predominant fashion color is red. Even some of the white girls wear red. In the middle of the scene, dancers wear black Stetsons, while other people sport afros, dreads, processes, and cornrows. I even spot someone in snakeskin pants. The BBAB has a picnic atmosphere. For a $20 ticket, you can sit at a table topped with red and white checkered cloth, and from these VIP seats, enjoy your barbecued ribs and fish. The rest of us stand. We don't mind because most of us are dancing to the bands. I can't keep still. August 24th, 2002. Today is the 15th annual Chinatown Street Festival, and I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday afternoon. As Carla and I walk through Old Oakland and head toward Chinatown, I show off my newfound knowledge of the area to Carla. At the festival, rows upon rows of food stands and booths sell products: jade charms, trinkets, bead bags, silkscreen t-shirts, plastic rings, cellular phones. I buy some chicken on a stick and some Thai soup, and we head down to the stage where a group from the Mahia Vehiyama Center for International Dance at Berkeley is performing. The leader is an Afro-Asian woman named Mahia. She says that Polynesian dance isn't meant for entertainment, but is performed as an act of commemoration. Accompanied by drums, a group of young women perform beautiful hulas. On another stage, an interracial group of teenagers called the DPG Dance Group performs some hip-hop moves. Hip-hop keeps showing up at these city events regardless of the ethnic emphasis. It's becoming the rice that goes with every meal.